Now at 5:30 on Newswatch.
Fracking has sparked a new issue in Athens County.
More Athens County jail inmates are paying for their room and board.
And in sports, the Bobcats are on the road against Northern Illinois.
Broadcasting live from WOUB TV in Athens. This is Newswatch.
Fracking has environmental and economic concerns for Athens County, and those have been thoroughly debated for weeks. Good evening, everyone. I'm Andrew Fowler.
And I'm Graylyn Roose. Now, another issue has surfaced: road maintenance. WOUB's Krista Lamandola explains how the county engineer is taking precautions.
Athens County citizens leasing land to drilling companies. Athens County engineer Archie Stanley is worried about what's going to happen with the county roads. Acting on that, he helped prepare a new roadway use, repair, and maintenance agreement, which he has presented to the Athens County Commissioners. It's designed to protect roads and bridges from the effects of heavy equipment.
Their basic reaction was acceptance. It's been reviewed by our prosecutor, and they know that we're in charge of taking care of the roads and bridges.
With the increased amount of moisture from the weather in this past year, Stanley says roads like these have become softer and makes them more likely to be damaged by heavy vehicles or machinery. The agreement would require companies to post a bond up to $250,000 per mile to cover the costs of any damages made to the roads.
Our intention is to protect Athens County roads and bridges. We have had 32 years of completely rebuilding this system, and we don't want to see it tore up. If anything, we want to see it better when these companies leave than before they came.
Stanley adds that without the agreement, the annual $4 million budget used for road maintenance will not be enough to keep the roads and bridges safe. The commissioners will be making a decision on the agreement sometime in the next week. For WOUB, this is Krista Lamandola.
The latest crackdown on prescription drugs has resulted in an increased use of other illegal drugs in Ohio. Ohio Attorney General Mike DeWine says more people are turning to heroin. In Pike County, the story is a little different. The sheriff says the lack of access to prescription drugs has prompted a meth epidemic. Pike County busted 10 meth labs all last year, but already this year there have been 3 or 4 taken down. The sheriff there says the new prescription drug crackdown could be the reason for the boost in the arrests for meth. The Athens County Prosecutor's Office has collected more jail restitution money in the last month and in the past year. The office collected nearly $24,000 for the month of January, surpassing the yearly amount collected in 2011 of nearly $21,000. The reason for this increase is the prosecutor, Keller Blackburn, has now made it a priority to make inmates pay for their own incarceration.
We spend about 30%, 33% of the county's general fund on law enforcement, being the sheriff's budget, my budget, and the regional jail. $1.4 million of it being the regional jail is a large burden to taxpayers. In certain cases in the past, people have paid, but it hasn't been a large priority.
Across the border in West Virginia, women's advocates want to expand protective orders to victims of sexual violence and to make it a crime to prevent a victim from calling 911. They also want to make it illegal to traffic children or adults by forcing them into labor or prostitution, a crime in most other states. State law only provides protective orders if the victim lives with the abuser or is related to their attacker. It's Digital Learning Day for thousands of West Virginia students and teachers. Today marks the start of a year-round national awareness campaign to improve teaching and learning using technology and digital media. The day is also intended to highlight teaching practices that make learning more personal and engaging for students.
Welcome to the Newswatch Weather Center. I'm Colleen O'Maro. Right now in Athens, we're at 61 degrees with a slight southwest wind coming from the south at 7 miles per hour. We have a humidity of 54% and a dew point of 44 degrees, which is why we haven't seen much precipitation today. Looking around our region, we're at 59 in Columbus and Zanesville, 61 in Athens and Parkersburg, 58 in Portsmouth, Gallipolis and Ripley, and 58 in Huntington as well. And as we move into tonight, we're going to have a low of 37 degrees as those partly cloudy skies remain throughout the night and the warm temperatures stay through. So Andrew and Graylyn, we're going to have clear skies for a couple more days, but as we move into the weekend, we're going to be seeing some precipitation.
We've gotten spring to come a little early this month.
We really have. And where has winter been?
I don't know. Thanks, Colleen.
Thank you.
A retired Vinton County judge has been sworn in as a state representative in the 87th District. Philip Roose agreed to take on the position in the interim until a new representative is elected. The 87th House District includes all of Vinton, Jackson, and Gallia counties, as well as portions of Lawrence and Ross. With Ohio's primary election just a little over a month away, the head of Ohio's Republican Party says there has been no debate scheduled for the candidates. At a recent forum in Columbus, Kevin DeWine also announced that his party will not be endorsing a candidate.
It doesn't matter to me. First of all, as the state party has not endorsed and won't endorse in the primary, so I'm not going to take the bait of giving some sort of tacit endorsement. In fact, I honestly believe it doesn't matter. That when whoever the Republican nominee is contrasted against the last 4 years, it won't much matter. As we've talked about, when you have 22 million Americans who are either unemployed or underemployed, $4 trillion added to the debt, 42 cents of every dollar spent is put on a charge card that somebody else's kids and grandkids have to pay. We think there's a compelling message there of dissatisfaction amongst Republicans, independents, and a few right-thinking Democrats that candidly it doesn't matter to us who the nominee is. We are confident that we have a message that will resonate with voters in Ohio and will lead to victory for the Republican nominee.
DeWine doesn't expect his party's presidential primary to be decided until well after Ohio's primary. He predicts a winner will not emerge until May 1st at the earliest.
New campaign finance reports are in for Ohio Senate candidates. Incumbent Democrat Sherrod Brown and his main Republican challenger, State Treasurer Josh Mandel, each raised an average of $1 million per month. Brown ended the quarter with about $5 million, while Mandel ended with about $1 million less than Brown. Mandel is one of 5 Republicans on the primary ballot. A new bill that would raise the speed limit on interstate highways would also make it illegal to drive in the left lane, unless you're passing or exiting. Supporters say the bill would make Ohio roads safer for motorists. The bill raises the speed limit from 65 to 70 miles per hour.
Crews are back to work and new measures are in place for a Cincinnati casino site 5 days after the floor collapsed on a project. More than a dozen workers were injured during the accident. The president of the construction company says construction, inspection, and safety procedures have been added to the Horseshoe Casino project. The collapse comes weeks after a similar accident at a Cleveland casino project.
How many times have you asked, what's that wood? Is it oak? Is it pine? Now some answers.
We'll have a live interview with an instructor of an upcoming workshop after the break. And the votes have been counted in Florida, and there's no surprise who the winner is. Next on Newswatch.
Thank you to the people in this room and to the people all over Florida. Thank you tonight for this great victory.
It's clear that Romney had the message that Floridians believed in. He was the victor last night in the Florida primaries, capturing 46% of the votes. Newt Gingrich was far behind in second with 31% of the votes. Even though Romney is a clear front-runner today, the heated primary race is far from over.
Mitt Romney believes his decisive victory Tuesday night in Florida, a state hit hard by the recession, is evidence he's the candidate to best address the country's top concern this election season.
People care about the economy, and they understand that that's been my background. They really don't think that people who spent their entire life working in Washington are prepared to take on the problem of getting our economy strong again.
In an interview with CNN, Romney said he's focused on the middle class, not the very rich or the very poor.
We have food stamps, we have Medicaid, we have housing vouchers, we have programs to help the poor. But the middle-income Americans, they're the folks that are really struggling right now.
Despite his second-place finish in Florida, Newt Gingrich showed no sign of backing down Tuesday night. He didn't call Romney to congratulate him and insisted he will take his fight for the nomination to the Republican convention in August.
We're going to have people power defeat money power in the next 6 months.
Ron Paul and Rick Santorum are also staying in, but Romney is expected to do well in the major contests ahead, so his opponents could be facing an uphill battle. Romney will be campaigning in Minnesota later this afternoon and will finish the night up with a rally in Las Vegas. Gingrich will also be stumping in Nevada. Reporting from Tampa, I'm Sandra Endo.
Nevada and Maine are next up in the Republican presidential nominating process. Both states hold a caucus Saturday. Romney, Gingrich, and Ron Paul made campaign appearances in Nevada today.
President Barack Obama says programs he's put forward to help homeowners have not worked. Speaking in Virginia today, Obama outlined his proposal to Congress to make it easier for millions of homeowners to refinance their mortgages at lower interest rates.
As I indicated at the State of the Union last week, I am sending Congress a plan that will give every responsible homeowner in America the chance to save about $3,000 a year on their mortgage by refinancing at historically low rates. No more red tape. No more runaround from the banks. And a small fee on the largest financial institutions will make sure it doesn't add to our deficit.
American Airlines wants to cut labor costs by 20%, a move that could cost the airline thousands of jobs. The parent company of American Airlines wants to eliminate about 13,000 jobs. The nation's third biggest airline is remaking itself under bankruptcy protection. American's CEO says the company wants to cut spending by $2 billion per year and raise revenue by $1 billion per year as part of a plan to return to profitability. A bankruptcy judge will decide whether the airline can carry out the cuts, which will be opposed by its three major unions.
The Ohio Woodland Stewards Program will be presenting a workshop this month to help people learn more about the materials they use. What's That Wood will teach basic wood identification and tell participants about wood species native to the state. Eric McConnell is a forest products specialist who will be teaching the workshop. Eric McConnell joins us now in our studio. Thanks for being here tonight.
Thank you.
Well, first, tell me a little bit about the Ohio Woodland Stewards Program. What do you do?
Well, the Woodland Stewards Program is an educational program that's part of Ohio State University Extension, and it's housed in the School of Environment and Natural Resources on our Columbus campus. And we do programs throughout the state on forest management, wildlife management, and my specialty is forest products and wood utilization.
Okay, so why do you have the workshops?
Well, we want to transfer the technology that's developed through years and years of research at the university to the general public. That's the Extension Service. That's their mission. It's technology transferred to the general public. So we want to put on programs to help people better their lives. And for this program, helping them to identify the wood around their farm or their homes.
And who is the target audience for your program?
Farmers, forest landowners, homeowners that want to learn more about what types of furniture maybe to select, but also professionals like woodworkers, carpenters, and builders.
And how will they use the info that they're going to learn when they're attending your workshop?
Well, they'll be able to better identify the wood that's on their farm. You know, the trees we can identify by the bark, the leaves, or the twigs and buds. But whenever that's removed and it's turned into lumber, it's a little harder to identify. So we'll go through basic identification characteristics to identify the woods, and we'll talk about how you can use them around your home and farm, and we'll also talk about historic uses such as how the Native Americans used them.
So you'll give them kind of a full education on it?
Yeah, we'll talk about the past and the present.
Okay. Well, I saw you brought some wood samples with us, with you tonight.
Sure.
Could you tell us what makes them different from one another?
Well, the three keys that we key in on to identify wood are color, odor, and structure. And so, like this one, for instance, is Osage orange, and you can see the yellowish orange tint. So that's kind of a giveaway for it. And as well, this is Eastern red cedar. But you can also identify it by its smell, because think about your mother or your grandmother has the cedar chest in their home to protect your clothes from moths and other insects, because the extractives naturally repel insects. And we also use structure. This is sycamore, another common hardwood tree found in Ohio. If you drive along the highway along creeks and rivers, you'll see the sycamore tree. And this is what it looks like, and you can see the number the mini rays, that's what we call rays right there that look like hair on your arms, where beech looks very similar, but it's more like the hair on your fingers. There's just a few rays, but on sycamore there's many, many rays packed into a small area. So that's how we can identify some common woods in Ohio and other places in America.
Well, thanks so much for telling us about that.
All right. Well,
Eric McConnell, thanks for stopping by tonight.
All right. Thank you.
And U.S. stocks finished strong today after strong manufacturing data, encouraging reports from Greece.
About the warm temperatures that will be remaining, rain for our weekend, and make sure you stay tuned for my extended forecast. Welcome back to the Newswatch Weather Center. I'm Colleen O'Maro. Right now in Athens, we're at 61 degrees with a southwest wind coming from the south at 7 miles per hour. We have a humidity of 54% and a dew point of 44%, which is why we haven't seen much precipitation today. And we have a pressure going down steady at around 30 inches, excuse me. As we look around our region, we're at 60 in Lancaster, 59 in Columbus, and 58 in our southern region. Moving into tonight, we're going to be 37 degrees in Athens with the partly cloudy skies still remaining throughout the night and the warmer temperatures remaining as well. Taking a look into history, we're at 58. We had a high of 58 today. The average high for February 1st is 40 degrees, so that shows the huge heat difference what we have seen. And the record was set in 2002 at 76 degrees. Looking at our low for today, we had a low of 37, and the low was set in 1936 at a low of -2 degrees. Now, as we look into tonight, we're going to have a low of 47 degrees at 9 p.m. By midnight, we're going to be at 42 degrees, and by 3 a.m., those clouds are going to be pushing out as a low pressure system moves into our region. And as you can see, the low pressure system from last night, which gave us some rain, is moving out as this high pressure system remains around. And the low pressure system in the west will be causing some severe snow for the Rocky Mountains, some severe rain for Houston, Texas, but in our region tomorrow, the weather is going to be clear and fine, but that low pressure system will be moving through for the weekend. And as we go into tomorrow, if you're on your way to work, it's going to be 41 degrees with sun. By noon, it's going to be 48, and by 3 p.m., we're going to be at 52 degrees. Now moving into tomorrow, we're going to have a high of 53 degrees, which will be mostly sunny. And if we go into this weekly forecast, and actually for tomorrow night, we're going to have 30 in Lancaster, 31 in Columbus, and in the lower 30s all around our region. Now moving into this week, we're going to be 53 by Thursday, 52 by Friday, and so we're still seeing those clear skies. But as we go into the weekend, that's when that low pressure system is moving in, and we're going to have 30% chance of rain on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. But by next week, Tuesday and Wednesday, we're going to be seeing clear skies once again.
So we've got a few more nice days left.
A few more nice days for the weekend. Time to bring back those umbrellas.
Yeah, even though there's precipitation coming up, I still can't complain about the weather we've been having.
Yes, and those temperatures,
so nice.
those temperatures will remain throughout the weekend. So even though there'll be rain, high temperatures will remain. So
always a good sign this time of year.
Yes.
Definitely good news. And we're joined with Carter. You have some information about some big Bobcat news.
Well, yeah, it was a big day in Bobcat football. It was signing day, and we've got all the info on who signed with the Bobcats. Plus, we'll preview tonight's Ohio's men's basketball road contest against Northern Illinois next on Newswatch. It is National Signing Day, and the Ohio Bobcats locked down a very solid recruiting class, headlined by three-star recruit Jake Shaney, an outside linebacker from Blair, Nebraska. ESPN Recruiting has him ranked as the 77th best outside linebacker in the country. The Bobcats signed 19 recruits in all, with 4 wide receivers, 3 athletes, 3 defensive ends, 2 linebackers, 2 offensive linemen, as well as a quarterback, D lineman, tight end, running back, and the only defensive back in the entire class, Torrin Davis. The Bobcats held a press conference today at 5 p.m., so make sure to tune in tomorrow for comments from Coach Solich. The Ohio Bobcats are riding a 4-game winning streak in MAC play after defeating MAC West leading Ball State. The win improved the Cats to 5-0 at home in conference play. However, Ohio has not fared so well on the road this season. They've dropped both their road games in conference and are playing in Northern Illinois tonight to square off with the Huskies. Northern Illinois has had its struggles this year. They're at the bottom of the MAC West at 1-6 and are at a dismal 2-17 overall for the year. And out of the 344 teams ranked in RPI, the Huskies are ranked 338th. The Bobcats have another advantage. The Huskies recently dismissed leading scorer and rebounder Tim Toller from the team. But, despite all the advantages, DJ Cooper believes the key to the game is to simply close the Huskies out.
Yeah, we just gotta. We've been in every game, on the road in the MAC play. We just gotta, close them out the last 4 minutes, and just make a few more plays.
Moving over to the women's team, the Cats are up against the MAC West leading Eastern Michigan Eagles. If it weren't enough to have to play one of the top teams in the MAC, the Eagles also boast the MAC's leading scorer, Tavlin James, who will be going for her 100th career double-figure scoring game. James throws up a monster 23.7 points per game while leading the team in minutes. The Bobcats are going to get a steady dose all game, and it'll be up to Samika Randall to throw a lot of different looks at James to keep her off balance. The Bobcats have struggled as of late, losing 5 of their last 7, but they could find a big momentum boost if they can top the Eagles. Moving over to high school boys basketball, the TVC Ohio race is heating up. Vinton County remains at the top of the Ohio, but Nelsonville, York, and surging Athens are hot on their heels. Athens has won 2 of its past 3 after having lost 4 straight, and the Bulldogs are hitting their stride at the perfect time. Alexander has dropped 4 of their past 5 after their victory over Nelsonville, York, and has fallen out of the TVC Ohio race, while Meggs still resides in the Ohio cellar. Over in the Hawking, Belpre, and Southern are currently engaged in a slugfest for the top of the conference, with Waterford not far behind. The Federal Hawking Lancers are continuing their rise to respectability under new head coach Howie Caldwell, but dropped a game last night to Wahama that dropped them into the lower half of the conference. The Trumbull Tomcats are still reeling from the loss of senior Noah Guthrie, but recently were able to pick up a win against Eastern. Alexander's boys coach Blaine Gabriel currently stands 3 games away from the school's all-time wins record, but the Spartans have lost 4 of their past 5. With 5 regular season games remaining, the Spartans are running out of chance to help Gabriel break the record this year. Alexander has a game on Friday against Athens before playing Martin Luther King High School on Saturday, and the Spartans are going to have to hope to take at least one of those 2 if they've got designs on breaking the record this year. If you can't get enough high school basketball talk, Hardwood Heroes is here to quench your thirst. Head to woub.org/heroes for recaps of the week's games, and check out the show every Sunday at WUB2 at 6:30, or look for re-airs of the show Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday at 8 p.m. And if you can't make any of those times, you can always just watch the show on the website, which is posted every Monday night. The Cavaliers topped the Celtics last Sunday in buzzer-beating fashion, but the Celts got another crack at the Cavs Monday night. The Celtics burst out of the gate early, thoroughly controlling the game through 3 quarters, leading by 18 points going into the final frame. However, Anderson Varejao helped the Cavs fight back into the game again, contributing one of the best games of his career with 20 points and 20 rebounds. Varejao and Kyrie Irving got the Cavs back within 2 minutes with under a minute left in the game, but this time the veteran Celtics shut the door on the Cavaliers' comeback with a 93-90 victory. The Celtics were paced by Paul Pierce, who led his squad with 20 points, and that loss drops the Cavs to 8-12 on the year.
Yeah, it was really sad to see how they beat the Celtics on Sunday. I think by 1 point it was, and then they were down so much they came back, but they just missed it at the last minute.
Well, with a Cavs team that they lost 20 games in a row last year, so if I'm a Cavs fan, I'll take a close loss to losing 20 in a row, and these Cavs have a lot of promise. They're taking on one of the most respected teams in the league in the Boston Celtics, so you got to respect the effort they've put up against them.
One thing's true, they definitely look better than last year.
They sure are doing better than last year.
Thanks a lot, Carter. And stay tuned tonight on WOUB.
Here's a look at what's coming up next on your public television station. Some celebrities will be at a football game this weekend, but it's probably not the one you're thinking of. These celebs will be at the Celebrity Beach Bowl being played this Saturday. The event will put celebrities against former NFL greats in a flag football game.
Over 700 tons of sand was delivered to an airport hangar to make the field, making it the world's largest beach. Tickets are free, but only 1,500 seats are available. After the game, Grammy Award-nominated band The Fray will be holding a live performance.
Taking a final look at weather. Tomorrow actually will be at 53 degrees with sunny skies. As we move into tomorrow night, we're going to be 33 in Athens, 31 in Columbus and St. Clairsville, 33 in Portsmouth, Gallipolis, and Ripley as the skies are beginning to clear up. And as we move into our weekend, we're going to see clear skies Thursday and Friday, but moving into Saturday, we have that chance for rain again. And going back into next week is when we're going to see the clear skies. So like I said, time to bring out the umbrellas for the weekend, but no fret. Clear skies will be back next week.
Thanks, Colleen. And that does it for our broadcast on this 1st of February 2012. Thanks for watching. For Colleen O'Mara, Carter Rodriguez, and Andrew Fowler, I'm Graylyn Roose.
You can get the latest news and weather on the WOUB radio network, and you can view our program anytime online at WOUB.org. Have a great night.